Tonight, the Blood Tribe in Alberta starts the first Indigenous Crime Stoppers Program in Canada.
We deliver kits to families with toboggans or baking stuff or just any art activity that we think families would benefit from, especially the children.
Plus, an organization that helps Inuit in Ottawa celebrates 35 years.
We need to realize what all the Indigenous have gone through, and from the French and British colonization to the residential schools.
And from a prime minister to a respected grandmother, an Ontario school will soon be changing its name. Good evening and welcome to APTN National News. I'm Daryl Stranger. We start tonight in Ukraine, where Russian troops are increasing their assault on the capital. They hit several targets today in Kyiv, killing at least 2 people. Ukrainian officials say 1 person is dead after an airstrike on an apartment block. A bus was also destroyed in the explosion. At least 12 people suffered injuries. 3 had to be taken to hospital. And this incredible CCTV footage shows the exact moment one of the rockets hit. Authorities say that in another part of Kyiv, a man was killed by falling debris in another airstrike. Russian troops have yet to enter the city, but it has been the target of more attacks in recent days. And at least 4 people were killed and 3 others wounded in an attack on a school in Mykolaiv Sunday. It's yet another attack on a civilian target, despite Russia's constant denial that they're intentionally hitting apartments, homes, and schools. It's the same city where a cancer hospital was shelled over the weekend. To Alberta now, a Blackfoot man from Siksika Nation has been charged in connection with the death of a 33-year-old woman from the community. 31-year-old Barry Jr. Yellowfly is charged with second-degree murder. The body of Marty Skelplock was found on February 27th in her home on Siksika. RCMP deemed her death a homicide after an autopsy was conducted in Calgary. Skelplock's friends and family allege family violence played a role in her death. And the Blood Tribe in Alberta has a new way of dealing with illegal activity in the community, its own chapter of Crime Stoppers. It's the first Indigenous-led Crime Stoppers in Canada. The Blood Tribe Police Department says it encourages public participation, giving police a better chance to combat crime. Constable Samantha Peterson says the new program is expected to have long-lasting impacts on the opioid crisis while building a relationship with the community.
Indigenous communities have a higher rate of crime than any other community in Canada, so it's important for police to use as many tactics as possible to help with public safety. We understand through history that the trust that Indigenous people have of police is not always there, so we strive to improve that relationship.
There are several thousand Inuit living in Ottawa, and their major outreach organization celebrates its 35th anniversary this month. Tungasavingit Inuit has grown from 1 employee in 1987 to over 100 staff and 30 different programs today. APTN's Fraser Needham has more.
A traditional food security program and early learning outreach. These are just 2 of the things Tungasavingit Inuit's 5 Ottawa offices provide. Amanda Killebuk says there is a sizable Inuit population in the nation's capital, one that is often underrepresented in official figures.
Historically and typically, they've been undercounted. So according to the 2016 stats, it says 1,200, I think, that live in Ottawa. And for those that actually live in Ottawa, we all know that that number is grossly undercounted.
The organization says there are various reasons that could account for the underreporting. One being that Inuit may not feel completely comfortable filling out long census forms not in their first language. Either way, Inuit people need support when they arrive in the city, and this is what TI provides. Other programs include employment and vocational services and drug and alcohol addiction counseling. Wendy Rahman works with young Inuit families with children up to the age of 6 out of TI's Richmond Road office.
But some of the activities we do, we have some outings into the community, like the Museum of Nature we did last week. We do go snowshoeing when the weather is great. We deliver kits to families with toboggans or baking stuff or just any art activity that we think families would benefit from, especially the children.
She says the most important thing about TI's programming is that it is offered in a culturally welcoming and safe space.
Oh, very, very important. That's the only reason, right? We do this, it's to ensure that the culture stays alive, that they can practice their language, they can connect with other families. It's so vital.
This week, TI is offering 35 different Inuit games in virtual format as part of the anniversary celebrations. In the summer, with COVID restrictions further loosened, it plans to return to outdoor community feasts. Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.
All right, we need to take a short break, but still ahead. A public school in southern Ontario will soon be honoring an Anishinaabe grandmother.
Her name, Bidosige Ba, as she was known as, means the one who brings the light or the one who carries the light.
Welcome back. It's out with the old and in with the new. A public school in southern Ontario will soon be honoring an Anishinaabe grandmother. Here's Annette Francis with that story.
This 57-year-old school, located in Pickering, Ontario, is about to get a big facelift. It was built in 1965 and named after Canada's first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, the man who initiated the residential school system.
So September 22, we have a little bit of time to do some work here at the school, to change signage, to change the external appearance of the building, to do a new logo, a new mascot for the school, a new furniture, to give it a new life and a new feel as we embark on a new name and new learning experiences in the building as well.
It's all being done to prepare the school for a new name. Erin Elmhurst is the superintendent for the Durham School Board. She says the name change is the result of a lengthy process.
The committee decided to land on, at the time, which was Josephine Mandamin, and through consultation with family, the name Bidosige came from that, and the committee came to consensus that that would be the selected name.
The understanding of the water.
Josephine Mandamin is an Anishinaabe grandmother who was known as the Water Walker. She and a group of Anishinaabe women walked all around the Great Lakes in an effort to raise awareness of the importance of protecting life's greatest resource, water. Mandamin passed away in February 2019. 11-year-old Ayla Schroeder says she's pleased with the decision.
I think it's important because we need to realize what all the Indigenous have gone through, and from the French and British colonization to the residential schools.
Principal Paul Haynes says Bidosige is worthy of the recognition.
I think they're interested to learn more. I think we're at an interesting point in Canadian history where we would all do well to learn more and know more about Indigenous history, Indigenous people, language and culture, and how we have gotten to where we are as a country right now.
Regina Mandamin says it's overwhelming to see her mother being honored this way.
Yes, her name, Bidosige, Ba, as she was known as, means the one who brings the light, or the one who carries the light. So it's a very powerful name, and she brought that into how she related with people, and really brought into imbuing her being, and brought that name to life, in just what amazing work she did.
The plans for the naming ceremony in September will be worked out with the Mandamin family. Annette Francis, APTN National News, Pickering.
A confidential report that was recently obtained by APTN News raised concerns over outstanding cases involving missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Thunder Bay. The report confirmed more than 24 unsolved cases sitting with the Criminal Investigation Branch of the Thunder Bay Police. For more on this, we're joined by Lorraine Whitman, the president of the Native Women's Association of Canada. Lorraine, thanks so much for being with us here today. Now, these confidential reports that some media received point to more than 24 unsolved cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Thunder Bay. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I don't know all the particulars in it, but one thing I do know is from our national inquiry, you know, we have heard of the missing, murdered Indigenous women and girls. And, you know, we had already stated in the past that that was one of the areas we wanted to be seen, you know, to open those cases, because we know, you know, from the numbers that were given to us, we know there's hundreds of other women that are in that same area, that same position.
Now, do you think this is a Thunder Bay police issue, or does it point to a broader concern of police services seemingly unconcerned about solving deaths involving Indigenous women?
You know, from my personal perspective and, you know, what I've heard and seen, it's not just, you know, to Thunder Bay. You know, it's a systemic racism, discrimination that's within, you know, the RCMP force. And it really needs to be overhauled, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And we're hoping that from the National Inquiry, some of those calls to action will be addressed in these areas.
Okay, so Lorraine, that begs the question, what should happen now to address these unsolved cases?
You know, the families, they've gone without any closure, of their loved one that has been gone missing or murdered or what have you. And these cold cases, they need to be opened, they need to be transparent. And now the truth is coming out. As we look at Canada's opening their eyes to seeing the disjustice that has been given to the Indigenous women. We're a large marginalized group of women, and we need to be respected. And these are some of the areas in these cases should be opened. They should be looked into. And this is what we've asked. And the National Inquiry, if people have read that or even heard, of some of the calls to it, these are some of the areas that need to be addressed, and to be able to confront the discrimination that's there with our women and our girls and our gender diverse community.
All right, Lorraine, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you again for taking a few minutes today.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Now to BC, where APTN's Tina House caught up with MMIWG advocate Lorelei Williams, who has now turned her attention to helping families abroad look for their missing loved ones. Tina joins us from Vancouver.
Thank you. I'm here with Lorelei Williams, who's known as a national murdered and missing Indigenous women advocate here in Canada, but is now on the international scene helping look for the disappeared in Mexico. You've just returned from Mexico. Now tell me about your experience down there and how you got involved.
I was invited to the National Brigade, where families of Mexico search for their loved ones who have disappeared. That was in the summertime. More recently, I got invited to the International Brigade, which just happened a few weeks ago. And that one is for families who come internationally from around the world to search for their loved ones who went missing in Mexico. And me being from Canada, my family member didn't go missing from there, but I was able to observe and learn so much and support on an international level.
You mentioned to me that there's close to 90,000 people down there that are disappeared. I mean, that's a high number of people. Tell me what it was like for you walking through that hot sun in very scary places searching for the remains.
It's scary. When we search, we go into the middle of nowhere. That's where we have to go. We have the police, the National Guard, and the military with us on every single search. And we have to have them. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And it's very important because when the families search on their own, they are put in very dangerous situations. But together with the brigades, they're able to be protected. Which is a lot of work. There's certain things I can't do. I have to follow everybody and all the rules. Like I can't post where I am in the moment, at the moment. There's just a lot, especially with the language barrier. I have to have a translator. I just pretty much stick to my translator. Because even there's animals that we actually follow the animals, because animals take people's remains and bring them to their caves, and we follow the animals, I was like, wow, we're gonna follow that coyote like up the mountain, but yeah, it's intense.
Wow, sounds very intense. Lorelei, what drives you as an advocate to do this work, to try to bring these people back home to their loved ones?
My missing aunt, of course, drives me. I would love to find her. And just supporting any families who are in this situation, because I've gained so much experience down there, which I never got up here. And it's important to share that. I would really love to share that experience. But also, they've been asking me about the children as well, and the radar technology, so that they could tap into that down there. So just coming together, empowering the families from both sides is really important.
Amazing. Keep up the great work, Lorelei. Thank you so much. Back to you in studio.
It's time for one final break, but still to come. We'll take a look at a decorated Inuk filmmaker's latest project, an animated short.
New ways of doing things. And we thought maybe this one is a lot easier than real actors acting it out.
Welcome back. It's time now for our photo of the day. This great shot was sent in by Lorna Henley. Lorna says she sees this owl almost every time she hikes along a trail near her home. Apparently the owl is not very popular with local crows and blue jays, but we agree with Lorna that this is one beautiful bird. Send your photos to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting over in the east, +3 and some snow in St. John's and +7 in Halifax. -17 in Nain and -10 in snow in Happy Valley Goose Bay. 0 degrees in Quebec City and -1 in snow in Val d'Or. +5 in North Bay and +6 in Sarnia. -5 in snow in Big Trout Lake and +2 in snow in Sioux Lookout. -15 and sunshine in Churchill and -6 in Thompson. +2 and some sleet in Winnipeg and +2 in Dauphin. +1 and some snow in North Battleford and +8 in Estevan. +2 in Buffalo Narrows and -10 in Stony Rapids. Over in the west, -1 in Fort McMurray and +4 in snow in Peace River. +5 in Edmonton and +11 in Lethbridge. +11 in Vancouver and +9 in Quesnel. 2 degrees and snow in Dease Lake and -6 in Fort Nelson. -20 in Old Crow and -1 in snow in Whitehorse. -22 in Norman Wells and -9 in Trout Lake. -21 in Fort McPherson and -24 in Colville Lake. -22 in snow in Cambridge Bay and -21 in Chesterfield. -18 in snow in Resolute and -24 in Iqaluit. If you start thinking about who is Canada's most famous Inuk, a few names come to mind. Governor General Mary Simon and former NHLer Jordan Tootoo, Another one might be filmmaker Zacharias Kunuk. The decorated filmmaker is up for another award, so our Kent Driscoll asked him about The Shaman's Apprentice.
Welcome to the underworld. Courtesy of Aglulik director Zacharias Kunuk, the award-winning director turned his eye to animation for this, The Shaman's Apprentice. The animated film has been nominated for the Canadian Screen Award for Best Animated Short. This foray into animation also had Kunuk on a short list for the Academy Award for Best Animated Short.
And because we're always trying new ways of doing things, and we thought maybe this one is a lot easier than real actors acting it out.
Kunuk has a long record of working with live-action actors as well. If you've seen Atanarjawat, the Fast Runner, which was the first feature film performed entirely in Inuktitut, you probably haven't forgotten it, and not just because of the naked chase scene on the sea ice. For Kunuk, the key thing is getting details right, because if you're going to share your culture, you want to be sure about it.
All the costume I had to draw out and approve, and sometimes they would make the hood wrong and I have to correct that. And on the, of course, they never seen dog teaming, so there's a scene where there's a dog team and all the harness have to be right. And I had to show these that sled have to be our style. So yeah, I did a lot of mentoring, I guess.
And matching the clothing is one thing. Trying to express Inuit spiritual beliefs and shamanism on screen is another. This scene right here gave Kunuk some trouble. He explains why.
I was stuck in one scene where they're going to the underworld and they have to climb down. And I thought, hey, climb down? Climb down ladders nowadays. But in those days, there was no such thing as a ladder. And then I thought maybe human bone ladder. Couldn't be. So I asked an elder, and this elder started laughing at me right away. And she asked me, how do you climb down a hill? Oh, okay, I got it.
The film has already won Best Short Film at the Toronto International Film Festival, and the filmmakers find out if they got the Canadian Screen Award to go with it on April 11th. For now, we wait for Kunuk's next work, whether that takes us out to the sea ice or back into the underworld, as live actors or animation. One thing's certain, it will be as accurate to Inuit life as Kunuk can make it. Kent Driscoll, APTN National News, Iqaluit.
The city of Edmonton may be getting a national urban park. These parks protect biodiversity in city centers. Federal Minister of Tourism Randy Boissonnault made the announcement with Mayor Amarjeet Sohi, Métis Nation of Alberta President Audrey Putra, and Confederacy of Treaty 6 First Nations Representative Chief Tony Alexis. The urban park is only a pre-feasibility phase currently. If it goes ahead, it will be part of a growing number of national urban parks planned across Canada. Other potential sites include Winnipeg, Windsor, May-Waston Valley in Saskatchewan, and Halifax.
Parks Canada has agreed to work closely with Indigenous partners to help ensure national urban parks showcase Indigenous stewardship and provide opportunities for connections to the land based on Indigenous knowledge and values. Having an urban park in Treaty 6 territory is a step in the right direction towards reconciliation. It will not only provide a connection to the land, but the park will also provide opportunities for healing and cultural celebration for both Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples.
That's all we have for you on this Monday edition of APTN National News. We leave you now with shots from a beloved Yellowknife event. Eager crowds gather daily for the 27th annual Snow King Winter Festival. The month-long staple boasts a 200-foot-long castle located on Yellowknife Bay with daily cultural and artistic activities. I'm Daryl Stranger. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.